everybody, Taylor here from Ciao Bella Sewing. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying the week so far. Now, several of my students have requested that I do a tutorial on how to sew handmade masks. Obviously, due to the current situation, there is a shortage of hospital grade masks. So a lot of people are working together and sewing their own handmade masks. Now, we know that these handmade masks are no replacement to the true medical grade masks that many doctors and nurses are needing during this challenging time. However, some organizations have requested handmade masks. So I want to show you guys how to make these, and hopefully you'll be able to find an organization by you where you live or somewhere where you can ship your handmade masks to as well. So just double check that the organization is accepting these handmade masks. They're pretty simple to make. You guys can see they have 2 pieces of elastic, and the most important thing is you want to make sure that you're using a cotton fabric for the actual mask part, okay? So again, they're not super complicated to make, so I want to show you guys how to make them, but just double check before you ship these off or donate them to a local organization. Make sure that they are accepting these, okay? So let's get started. These are the supplies that you will need to make your handmade mask. You are going to need 2 pieces of fabric cut 6 inches by 9 inches. You are going to need 2 pieces of elastic, approximately 1/4 of an inch wide by 7 inches long. You will need your pins, scissors, your tape measure, and of course, you will need your sewing machine. Let's get started. Okay, we're gonna pin the fabric and the elastic before we start to sew. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my fabric, this top layer, and I'm going to put it so the colorful side is touching the table. Now we have 2 pieces of fabric where the colorful sides are touching the table. So I'm just gonna grab it right here from the middle, pull up, and then lay it flat again on the table. So now the right sides of our fabric are touching each other. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pin around this rectangle. So for starters, we're gonna go ahead, start pinning on the long side right here. And I'm actually going to do 2 double pins right here. And then below this, so right here or so, about 3 inches down, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more pins. Now, this is going to be the indicator to me that I'm going to leave this part open as I sew around. So I'm going to go ahead and add more pins here, here, and here. On the short sides of my fabric, I'm going to go ahead and add the elastic. So you want to make sure that your elastic is really secure in each corner. I go ahead and pick up the fabric, place my elastic right here in the corner, and then I take the top layer of fabric, put it on top of the elastic. I will grab a pin, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin this corner right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and smooth out the elastic and place it in the other corner. And I'm going to pin this corner as well. You want to make sure that the pins are really secure going through all 3 layers, going through the fabric, the elastic, and the other layer of fabric. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my other piece of elastic, going to put it right here in the corner, sandwich the elastic between the 2 layers of fabric, go ahead and grab a pin, again, pinning through all 3 layers. Make sure that your elastic is not twisted. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the elastic and put it in the last corner. Perfect. And I'm going to add my last pin right here. So now that this is securely pinned and I have my elastic on my 2 short ends of the fabric, I'm going to go ahead and start to sew. Now we're going to go ahead and sew our mask. We're going to start to sew right below our set of double pins. We're going to sew all the sides, and then we're going to finish right here at our last set of double pins, leaving this section open, which is about 3 inches. That's where we're going to go ahead and flip our mask. You can sew right here on the edge of your presser foot. It's really important that when you take the pins out where the elastic is, you hold it securely so your elastic doesn't move around. Now for turning the corners, make sure your needle is in the fabric, pick up your presser foot, spin the fabric towards you, put your presser foot back down, and then keep sewing. Again, I just pick up my presser foot because my needle is already in the fabric. Perfect. So this is the last part I'm going to sew. I pick up my lever and I stop sewing when I get to that set of double pins. Perfect. I cut my threads and I'm going to go ahead and pull my project out. Now that we've sewn our sides and we've clipped our threads, we're going to go ahead and turn this mask right side out. You turn it right side out from that 3-inch opening that you left open. So that's the part that you did not sew. Once this mask is flipped, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our pleats to the short sides of the fabric. So when you add pleats, you want to add 3 pleats for each side. So just make sure to space those out evenly. You take the fabric and you fold it towards you. You grab one of your pins and then you pin the fabric in place. Make sure that your pleats are as even as you can get them on each side. So you just continue making 3 pleats on each side of the short side of the fabric. The pleats will be helpful because that is actually what secures the mask very closely to one's face. So just go ahead and continue this step until you have 3 pleats on each side, and then I'll show you how to sew this. Okay, now that you have 3 pleats on each side of your fabric mask, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna do some top stitching all the way around the edges of the mask. When you top stitch, you actually stitch on the edge of the fabric. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower my lever. Now, as you start to sew and you go over your pleats and your pins, make sure to pull the pins out as you're going because the pleats are really thick, so it'll be hard for your sewing machine to go over that part very smoothly. Great, so I pick up my lever, and this is the side with the pleats. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully take out my pins as I go. Now I'm sewing the very top of the mask. This is the last side of pleats. Again, take those pins out as you go so you do not accidentally break your needle. Perfect. And now I'm back to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and try to line up my stitches as best as I can. Perfect. So this mask is looking great. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly cut my threads, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what this mask looks like. So you guys can see that it has top stitching all the way around. It has elastic, so you just slide this on over your face, tuck it around your ears as well. The pleats help the fabric expand. So this is what covers your nose and your mouth as well, making this a very good handmade mask. Now, I so encourage you guys to try this project at home. Just make sure that you gather the correct supplies. Again, you want to be using 100% cotton for your handmade mask, and double check with the organization that you're going to donate these to because you want to make sure that they are accepting these at this point in time. Happy sewing, and please let me know if you have any questions.